Today, we're thrilled to welcome Chris Budnick, president of Maple Origins, and Therese Waldron, a seasoned expert in food marketing, to our table.
They're here to generously share their wealth of knowledge and expertise.
So prepare to feast on invaluable insights that will elevate your brand to unprecedented heights. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Food Marketing Mindset Podcast. I'm your host, Doug Resch, alongside my co-host, Holden Rouse. I'm sure you've used disposable dinnerware at home or at a picnic, but have you used eco-friendly tableware made from recycled materials like maple wood and coconut shells? Today, we are diving into the world of sustainable craftsmanship with a special guest who's at the helm of this eco-friendly venture called Maple Origins. Let me introduce you to the visionary behind this remarkable brand, Chris Budnick, and Director of Business Development, Therese Waldron. Chris, could you introduce yourself and tell us how you got involved with Maple Origins?
Well, it's terrific to be with you all this afternoon. I appreciate the opportunity. So Maple Origins evolved out of an idea that we had to repurpose some assets from a company that we had acquired back in the middle of the 2010s. So the product line was dated and not very fresh. It involved a lot of crystal polystyrene. So we thought to ourselves, well, how could we update this product line? What could we do better? What could we do different? So we did a whole bunch of research into these different types of materials, and settled on one that involved polypropylene and recycled maple wood, which we thought gave a great look to the product. It was also a recycled component that most people could identify with. When you tell someone they have flax, for instance, in their dinnerware, most people don't even know what flax is. So we settled on maple as a component and built the brand out from that. So that's how it began. Unfortunately, we ran into COVID just as we started getting some traction in the grocery space, and everything kind of got ground to a halt. Expansion sales, it was really a difficult period for us, but we're out of that now, and Therese has been a terrific help, and moving our brand forward.
Excellent. Could you talk a little bit about who are the key players at Maple Origins?
Well, it's myself and my sister. It's really a family-owned and managed company. We've been in business since 1972, so my dad started the company way back then, and it's always been our dream to have our own product line. Right now, a lot of our business is still what we would call OEM business. We're doing custom parts for automobiles and medical and water filters and things like that. Mostly, I like to tell people we make things that nobody worries about unless they're broken. So we decided to try to chart our own course by acquiring a company and repurposing the assets, as I just talked about. And that's where we are today in 2024. We're in about 1,600 grocery outlets throughout the East Coast and expanding westward.
That's amazing. Yeah. I actually am curious about, so you said you've been in business for such a long time. It's a family business.
Yes.
What's one of your new favorite aspects of running Maple Origins?
Oh, I love the creativity part of it.
Nice.
Most of our work here it's really detailed. There's a lot of high performance plastics that are used, a great deal of engineering. It's all about numbers. This allows me at this point in my career to have a little bit of creativity, to pick colors and decide products, success or not. And I've had some bad ideas like anyone else. And I think we've had some good ideas. I think the best ideas is knowing what you don't know. And that's why we brought Therese on to help, because I'm technically, I'm not a salesperson or a marketing person. I am a manufacturing person. I'm detail oriented and all about, dates and dimensions and costs and things like that. I always thought that marketing folks, they were the ones out on the golf course when I was driving home at 6:00. Just trying to figure out a problem with a machine breaking at the shop. They're like, how come they're out on the golf course? And I'm just trudging home still with the burden on my mind. But yeah, so that's been really one of the most fun aspects for me personally is applying automation, applying robotics, applying technology to create something new and different that isn't really out in the marketplace in a big way.
That's amazing.
That should be.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree. Now, I'd like to ask Therese kind of the same thing. What do you enjoy? What's your favorite aspect of working with Maple Origin?
I was introduced to Maple Origins in Stowe, Vermont, almost 3 years ago. I walked into one of their country stores. I grabbed one of the products and I thought, I have never seen anything like it. I loved the texture. I loved all of the colors. I mean, there are 17 different colors in this line. I probably stood at that table for 15 minutes trying to decide, what do I have to buy? I would have bought it all. And, I consider myself a foodie. I've been, as the working mom of 3 kids, you have to get good at certain things, and entertaining, putting great meals on the table, being concerned about their safety is always something that was top of mind for me. In fact, when they were little and a whole bunch of dishes broke at once, I just ran out and got something that was unbreakable, because I thought, you can't have this kind of chaos in your life.
Sure.
Yeah.
The aspect of this line, though, is that it's not only eco-friendly and taking in some of the recycled maple, but what I love about it, it's NSF certified. So it means it's safer for kids.
Mhm.
My children are grown now, but
Sure.
they'll be getting all of this in their apartments when they have kids, if not before, because
Yeah.
why wouldn't we? It becomes the question for me. If we had a choice between products that are super safe for your own use and your kids' use and better for the environment, because you're not using disposable, one-time throwaway paper and plastic as the fallback
Mhm.
all the time. I mean, we do barbecues, we grill outside, we have big parties, we tailgate a lot at various college football games, etc. And there's a lot of waste that goes with that. I don't know if
Sure.
you've been to a tailgate recently, but there are bags and bags and bags and bags of trash.
Oh, it's disgusting, right?
It,
It's
it,
just
it,
so much garbage.
and it's kind of like you have to ask yourself, as an individual and as a society, can't we do better than this?
Right.
Really?
Exactly.
How difficult is it to wash a dish? It's really not. And what are
Right.
we in such a hurry for, that we can't do those kind of things that actually are kind of therapeutic? You can have even a great conversation at a sink. I've had some of the best conversations with my kids ever. But the bottom line is, you rinse them off, put them in a dishwasher when you get home. And, it's a whole new way of looking at how you entertain.
Sure.
No, I love that.
I think that would be in fact, as the food marketer and marketer in myself, I would love to reinvent an entire category called entertainment wear, with Maple Origins at the heart of it, because
that is genius.
we are really the overlap of disposables and tableware. We're in that absolute needed point.
Right.
So we'll see. We'll see.
I like it.
And especially with entertaining, you have so many dishes and
Yeah.
so many people. I mean, it's a lot to gather all these different glasswares, or so many people use disposable. But if they've got something recyclable like Maple Origins has, I think it makes a lot more sense. I was looking on the website last night, and I like how you have the different themes of the collections, right? So you have
Right.
the Christmas collection, and I think that's perfect for the entertainment space.
I agree.
Absolutely. And so let's talk about the Christmas collection for a second. It's our oatmeal, evergreen, and paprika. If you take one color out and add another color in, throw in our lapis, which is a beautiful dark royal blue, close to navy, but not quite. Now you've got all the patriotic holidays covered. Or,
Yeah, sure.
I mean, there are so many variations on the holiday occasions, not only for retailers, but for consumers to really celebrate and do it in a more, I don't know, as you pointed out from the very first words, eco-friendly way.
I love that. And so I guess for me is, as we're talking about customers, could you talk a little bit more about where customers can find Maple Origins products as well, in terms of your strategy in retail, online, talk a little bit more about that?
So we embarked on a little bit of a different strategy based on our size. We're a small company, as I said before, only 40 people, located in Connecticut. So our marketing budgets were constrained. We didn't have a lot of experience or no experience rolling out a major product line of our own. So we kept it very, very simple and went to the grocery market, which we felt was um, underserved. In other words, are not a lot of really good new ideas that are showing up in a grocery store that are not food related. And grocery stores are in a fight for their life with larger mass retailers like Walmart having grocery. Walmart is actually the largest grocer on the planet. Um, so we wanted to arm, if you will, our local grocers with a product that was new, that was different, that was innovative, and that we felt that we could get some loyalty in return for that, providing them a new, fresh idea at the right price point. That's the other key aspect of the product. It's priced as it's a value proposition. It's not a luxury item. So it's priced in that zone. So we really focused on grocery early on. That remains our key market. We didn't even have a website until last year. By design, we wanted to stay underneath the radar because it's so easy to be copied these days in a global marketplace. So we wanted to get a good lead on the competition before we would start to see the inevitable. So we wanted to keep, and we felt that we could get into the grocery market space successfully in the East Coast and roll out further from that once we had that success. So that was our strategy, and that's where most of our product is found now. That being said, there are small scale individual retailers, gift shops, and so on that carry our line. Therese mentioned Vermont Country Store, which is one of our larger small scale retailers up in Vermont. So that fits right in with them as well.
And I would add to that the true supermarket chains are really a part of our target. We're speaking with all the major retailers about this product in succession so that we provide some territorial, not exclusivity, but, we're not going to see it in every single spot all at once. We want, as Chris said, to give them some runway to enjoy the merit of the product and their merchandisers to feel the pride of selecting something that their market's going to like. I was in northern Florida in February, just around the time of Mardi Gras. I had no idea it was so celebrated. I saw it as a New Orleans kind of activity. But all along the coast, every single store we went to, there was Mardi Gras, everything. So it was really pretty easy to come back from that week away and start talking to stores, not only about Christmas and other holiday collections, but also about a new Mardi Gras option for them. So it's that kind of thing where you have to be observant to see where is this really going to fit.
Sure, that makes sense. And so, Chris, you had talked about being a Connecticut business, and
Yes.
just wanted to make sure that our audience was clear. Where is Maple Origins produced then? Is it in Connecticut?
It's
and
produced in
the United
Southington, Connecticut. Yep. It's produced in Southington, Connecticut at our injection molding factory here. We don't have an offshore source. Everything is produced here. The material actually comes from the Midwest. The maple wood component actually is primarily sourced in Michigan from the Upper Peninsula. That is furniture industry waste that would have gone to the landfill and now gets compounded in to the blend that we use for the production of our product line. So that's kind of an interesting thing. So it's really all United States based and distributed here from Connecticut. Being in Connecticut is a challenge. So we meet that challenge, with manufacturing costs with a lot of technology. We have a lot of robots, but tools like robots are only as good as the folks that are using them and know how to program them. So we have quite a history and a program of teaching people how to program robots. We've had robots for 30 years. So we've watched them grow up, so to speak. And that's key to our productivity, and it's key to helping us keep that price point.
Which also leads us to a really interesting set of circumstances where supply chain logistics have been challenged over COVID, but in more recent years, and things have come back fully. things in the United States that are manufactured here can be shipped pretty easily. And that's also one of our core competencies, is that we can, get products to market quickly, efficiently, in a short time period too. So if a customer said, "Hey, we are doing beyond what we thought we would with these summer collections, let's bring on Halloween, autumn, and the fourth quarter collections," that's perfectly possible. And I'm not sure that's the same circumstance abroad. But I know that there's a willingness and a huge commitment on the part of the Maple Origins team. In part, not only is quality a big part of the commitment, but Chris, you and your dad were both veterans, so you have a veteran-owned company.
Yes, it is about, we just passed by Earth Day, and if people realized how much fuel and energy it took to move their apple from Chile to their grocery store, they would be shocked. And if we can cut that distance down and shorten that supply chain and use local things, we're all better off because of that. The lowest cost isn't necessarily the cheapest cost when you talk in terms of the environment. So it's that factor doesn't get really put into the equation very often with most consumers. How far did it actually travel to get to the store here, wherever that here is? So that with Maple Origins, it's continental United States, and it's a truck right away. It's not a boat and then another truck and then train and then a distributor and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Generally, our product is only changing hands once from our distributor to the grocer, and sometimes it's direct right to the grocer if they're large enough. So that there's a lot less energy used in that. It's very interesting. Today, I have a group of grade school students coming in who are writing about plastics, and their premise is that plastics are bad, and the teacher asked them to come to us so that we can help educate them. Like, no, plastics inherently are not bad all by themselves. It's how we use and reuse them. So modern life wouldn't be possible without plastics in many, many forms, but it's bad to have garbage bags full of waste at the end of a tailgating program, or to just use single-use cups and things like that, or bowls in our case, when you can have something that's really neat, that's reusable.
Chris, could you share a little bit on that backstory on how you were able to get all of these raw materials and create this excellent tableware?
Well, it really was a collaborative effort here. There's nobody at Vanguard is going to take, including myself. It's really a team thing. So an idea started like, let's repurpose these tools and figure it out. So that was my charge from our CEO, who's passed on now. But 10 years ago, it was like, find a use for these things that we just bought. And so we were involved in a couple projects that involved some recycled materials that were really not that good. So we called in the compounder and said, here's the problem with processing these. We'd like you to address that, and let's work together to develop a formulation that works for us. So that process took about 8 or 9 months of trial and error, and we ended up with a material that really works well for us, that we can purchase in truckload quantities. So yeah, that's how that happened.
So that all being said, what would you say is the number one mistake new entrepreneurs often make when they start sustainable businesses? Or at least what do you think is your number one mistake?
Yeah, underestimating time to market, like underestimating that human component of selling, which is what I did. I thought, well, we have a great product. This is really cool. Nobody else makes it. The price is right. Why wouldn't they want it? And it's a struggle to, you need a person like Therese to help facilitate that process. I'm not really that capable of doing that. So I'm lucky to have Therese on our team, especially. That's how we got to know her. She really contacted us and said, I really love your products, which I thought was amazing. Like, I couldn't believe the connections that we were getting. We'd have people write us from all over the country that got these as gifts or whatever, and say, geez, this is really a neat product. Where else can I buy it? And I thought, boy, I thought it was a humble bowl that was kind of cool. I didn't think that someone would take the time to engage with us.
Sure.
But that I would say that's the biggest mistake that I made, is underestimating the amount of time, and of course, the amount of forms that one has to fill out to get into this distribution
Standard
centers.
setup.
It's staggering. You can actually get a manual. We have, I can't, I'm not at liberty to say which
Sure.
retailer, but there are manuals on how to fill out the form, and YouTube videos that are created specifically to facilitate filling of forms, which you would be shocked that you need 45 pages of paperwork to get in, but you do, and that's how the system
Crazy.
works. It is crazy.
Yeah. Therese, I got a question for you. I'm curious, as like a food marketer, what's your daily kind of routine with working with Maple Origins?
Well, it's kind of funny. I was at a Philadelphia-based outlet yesterday, retailer, and I met with someone and showed her the product. And by the way, when you touch this product, you love it. There is something about the need for just allowing the client to touch it and to see it, because it speaks for itself, first of all. So that's super helpful. But when you ask for the next person and the next step, they're like, oh, you have to go through headquarters. It's like, really? You know who you're reporting to. Can you just share that? So there's a lot. I think COVID created a lot of isolation in how we go to work. We're doing meetings by Zoom only, or, that is the biggest challenge and hurdle, is not being allowed to come in and do presentations like we once did. Everything's become very compressed in terms of access and time. And I think the rewards for someone who is willing to look at something new are that they'll be first to market with this great product line. So it's a combination of reaching out, really resourcing, understanding the industry. We have a proposal in with one of the produce associations around children eating better, because they're thinking about what fits into this 4-cup bowl, or our smaller bowls, which are they hold 2 cups. But I said to them, imagine children challenging themselves every day to eat 2 cups of fruit and vegetables. How much healthier would they be if they had an easy vessel, an easy bowl to use for that opportunity? So, it's a combination of reaching out to different media outlets at different times when you think you have a great hook. A lot of stores have their own media departments, though, too. So there are guidelines and restrictions, and you don't want to step on toes. But anything that's organic really works for us, because this is really a more organic product line, truthfully.
That's all great insights. Can you talk a little bit about promotion and awareness of that? Like, what type of digital marketing channels have been effective for Maple Origins? Have you looked at like influencer collaborations? And if you've looked at influencer collaborations, how did you choose right influencers across the board, right? How do you represent Maple Origins in that space from digital marketing campaigns?
Well, I think that falls into our stage 2 process, because we want, marketing and sales go hand in hand, but you want to have products in the market before you execute a great deal of investment and expense around influencers. And while we're getting our e-commerce platform at a very sophisticated level, we want to be sure all of those things are in place. Just as an example, we reached out to Babs, who's a grandmother in Southern Connecticut, who has taken who was able to go through COVID and teach a lot of women and men at home how to make wonderful meals and entertain in a very simple and lovely way. But she, like so many influencers, there's a huge episode cost to participate. And that is great for her, but it's hard to get, really gain some additional traction that way. Same with some of the media companies, where it's turned to a pay to play kind of opportunity now versus what used to be very authentic, objective third party endorsements. So things have really changed in the market, is what I would.
We started off the line by test marketing it in a seasonal art show down in New Haven, Connecticut. It's sponsored by a major university, so it's not hard to figure which one that is. But they had they have an art center that's got a community outreach mission, and part of their fundraising is they do this art show. So we donated a bunch of product to it, and it sold through the first day. And they called us up and said, "Can you bring more?" So that's how I knew we had something. And then so that was it's kind of like you market as you can with the resources that you have. So that's what we focus on. Like, all right, how do we replicate that? What are the low cost, low entry things that we can start to build brand awareness? And people found our product there and said, "Yeah, you should be here and you should be there." And one thing led to another, and that's how we ended up with a network that we have. Starting like that at an art show with a donation, or doing the Made in Connecticut Expo. And we were like the second largest revenue, generator there, only to somebody that had what was like some sort of hot sauce or something like that. But we were very, very successful there. And so we started off with the small marketing budget, as I mentioned, and then we built a very basic website to have something, and now we have a functional website, and then we'll start the social media thing rolling. But we're doing a lot of that internally. It's kind of an extra duty here for different people in different departments. Like shipping, receiving actually helps with Instagram posts. They have their own ideas, like, yeah, put it up. The office staff, same thing. So every week there's some post going up that's generated by somebody here whose job is not marketing. It's shipping and receiving, or it's accounts payable and receivable. They love the brand as much as we do. Or someone out in the factory production, they did this a big stir fry thing yesterday. So I love to cook. So the anal retentive cook, you measure everything out, you have it all set up, and we use our 550 bowls for that. And then you go out to the grill, you use our tray, and you're actually serving the product on the tray after you're finished. So there was a bunch of photos that were generated from that, from the factory floor. So that's how we look at it. It really goes into the team idea here at Vanguard.
Nice.
It's not $1 million ad budget, but it's helping us actually build our brand in an authentic way.
Yeah,
well, and
sure.
and any retailers that we're in, they're also requiring X amount for their media or their circular or their promotional aspects. So once we're in store, we're getting direct access to their clientele through those initiatives too. So, Chris, you like to say crawl, walk, run.
Crawl, walk.
So we're between crawling and walking right now.
Right. And I love the idea of the employee buy-in, right? I think employee buy-in is just exponential. And they believe in the brand, they believe in the leadership.
You believe in the mission, right?
The mission statement. Yeah.
Absolutely. We all get it. It's really great. And we donate a lot of product to different charity groups for auction. So what people do is build gift baskets with them, and they always do well. Everybody, year after year, we have the same groups. Hey, can I have a couple dozen boxes? Or we'll donate to the local food pantry or a homeless group. We've done many of those throughout the country, as far away as California. Like here's 10 boxes of Maple Origins products for people that are homeless to help them in a shelter. So
that's incredible.
It's just an organic thing that we do. There's no expectation of a return. It's just a gift.
Amazing. So I've got a hypothetical one for you. So as Maple Origins is really taken off now, imagine if you had like a celebrity endorse the brand. Who would you want? What's that person you want to be the face of the franchise from a celebrity perspective?
Therese, you want to grab that one, and I'll
well, I'd like to grab one from several generations. So, just because of the numbers, just because of the numbers and because she no doubt has some aspects of her lifestyle are healthy eating and healthy approaching there. I would want Taylor Swift to be
Oh, I knew you were.
I love it.
in this.
I knew it. I knew you were gonna
And,
look
you
at
know,
that.
I just know that she could help identify a target audience for us that would get it. Now,
Oh, yeah.
because she's a fan, hold on, because she's a fan of the Kansas City Chiefs, or was, is, will be, whatever, you know,
Are
shame
you
on me
putting
for not
together
sending this to
a
her
quick
for her
Kansas City
tailgate,
Chiefs collection?
I like it.
Yes, you could
right?
too.
So shame on
I
me.
love
I
it.
should have done that. I should have done
I
that.
love it. I love
And
it.
maybe we will after this show. Okay, so
Marketing on the
that's
spot.
I
for
love it.
Taylor for the
You
Gen
can't go
Z
any.
and some millennials.
You can't go any bigger than Taylor Swift. I love it.
But
Right.
there are two other women that I think would be or a couple men that I think would be fantastic for this line too. One of them is Babs, the grandmother that I talked to you about, because she's very
Sure.
practical.
Yeah.
She's lived in Connecticut for much of her life. I believe she's from Michigan. I think she would be a wonderful person to describe how when things break, it's a pain for parents to deal with that kind of thing. When you're not showing good examples around helping to clean up, work together. I mean, that's what the end of an occasion is. People get together in the kitchen and they help the host so they aren't left with this big mess, right? So I would like her in the mix. And then every now and then, I know that Martha Stewart would love our colors. I know she would. I know she would love this product. She's got a very interesting target audience and base. I think she might be an interesting person. She's done a lot for Skechers. And whether Snoop Dogg likes it or not sure. I'm guessing he would. The beauty of this bowl is it's a perfect dinner salad bowl. Like you put a salad in this with a protein on top, and you are full and you're eating great food. So, there are some chefs that I think would like it. For their restaurants. Bobby Flay comes to mind. He's super popular. We also love Drive the 3Ds. Guy.
Yep,
For
Guy
every-
Fieri.
I think he'd love it.
I would
You know,
go with Guy Fieri.
And we've talked about
I
that.
like it.
And
Diners,
It's,
drive-ins,
see how this-
yeah.
not tweezer food. It's not about tweezer food, and that's who I was going to suggest. Guy
Sure.
Fieri.
Guy
Like if
Fieri.
Guy had our stuff on a show, it's like, look, we're using this maple origin. It's really great when you're doing a multi-course meal. Blah blah blah. It'd be really cool. That's who I would pick, and of course
Love it.
Taylor Swift. I mean, who wouldn't?
Who wouldn't want that?
The Swifty collection.
The Swifty collection. I like it.
Amazing.
I mean, we
So-
could
so
do
talk
it
to me a
based
little
on
bit-
her
go
costumes
ahead.
alone and her favorite
Yeah,
colors.
that's true.
But
That's
the
true.
truth
All
is,
right.
she has a beach home, Chris, right at Watch Hill,
Right.
Nice.
and
So
you're
she's
right
gonna
down
be
the
able to
street
walk down
from
the
her.
street
So
and pick it up from the country store.
Right.
and-
She absolutely could. Yeah.
Yeah, look at take a photo along the way and instant influencer success.
Well,
Get
I
rid-
was thinking I could
orders.
run up to her when I see her coming out of her house, and maybe have her autograph an oatmeal one. And,
Oh, I love it. And then auction it
great. That'd be great.
charity. I love it.
yeah, true enough.
So
True
does
enough. But it doesn't take long for it to become your favorite. We have a lot of other dishes
Yeah.
in our house. I'm embarrassed to say I have 3 different sets of china, lots of everyday wear, different collections, and the dishes my husband and I use every single day now are maple origins. They make you a little happier. You have your own
Yeah.
color. It's and it's easy. I think that's the thing. We live in a casual world, casual lifestyle, so why not make it more casual? I'd love to get to more young brides or young mothers. Like, I think this is a perfect baby shower gift. In all sincerity, I really do. Because they're going to get there, and it's not going to be the kind of thing they want to buy on their own. They may, but, it's a very thoughtful gesture.
So Chris, talk to me about your morning routine at Maple Origins. What drives your success? Do you kind of wake up, stretch your fibers and then whisper affirmations like you're maple-tastic in the mirror.
That's new.
No, this guy's kind of funny. It's really, it's in production every day here at the factory. So that's, it's one of the first things I go over to in the morning when I get in. And there's an old theory of management called management by walking around. You cannot, in a manufacturing environment, I always tell our foreman and our leadership here, there's something going wrong. We are a 3-shift operation. So there's something going wrong 24 hours a day, every day. It's just a matter of whether you know about it or not. So one of the ways to do that is I cannot just exist in the office. I go out to the floor. It's my first stop, tour the factory, see what's going on, look at the printouts, and go over to the machines and see how they're running and make sure the color's right. Make sure that we're filling orders properly. And what did we get in for internet orders last night? And, that kind of thing. My interaction with the product really starts when I get home to cook for dinner because my wife likes me. I like to cook. So, it does get used every single day. It's something I pull out of the cupboard by choice. It's something that we take outside constantly. And I'm not worried about it being broken. Of course, I don't have to worry about neighbors when we have picnics, they're walking home because I could just get more at the factory. But they do. They end up being taken home. Like, where did you get this? I'm like, oh, we make them. Really? You make them? Can I get some? And so we always have extras to give out. We do a neighborhood clam bake in Rhode Island every year at the end of our streets. We block off the end of the street. We pull out the tables, somebody's doing chowder, somebody's doing, we're digging the pit, we're doing clams. And then we do our house provides all the servingware. So it's all color coordinated to the, coastal thing. And it's really great. It's just people love it. It makes them feel happy. It's much better than eating off of a paper plate.
Sure.
Oh, of course.
That sounds like episode number 2.
Kind of my interaction with it.
Clam bake.
So episode number 2 of Maple Origins will be
more about making the product line happen. There's a lot of stuff that go into it.
We just want to eat clams.
Yes, exactly.
So I think it's a good segue into what's your favorite product that Maple Origins offers. If you had to pick one, what's your go-to, your favorite one to talk about?
Therese, go ahead. You first. You're smiling.
That's probably the hardest question in the mix. Truly, I think the 7-inch bowl is indispensable. It just is perfect for so many points of utility. So I like that. I love this 10-inch bowl because it's just the right size for a big sharing salad for 4. It really is. And I'm one of 8 kids. My husband's one of 7. Our family gatherings can be really pretty big. And it's when it's only a fraction of people, right? And this 12-inch bowl is amazing. It's great. Now, that being said, charcuterie is the biggest thing going with Gen Z and millennials. This tray with charcuterie, put a couple of our small bowls on here with your dips. It's so easy, and it has handles, and you can put it right in the dishwasher. I mean, it's just.
I was going to say that.
Sorry, Chris.
The tray is my favorite because I don't get in trouble with my wife. So if we're watching Netflix, I'm not allowed to bring food in unless it has a tray underneath it.
The tray is your favorite.
That's it. So that way I cannot get in trouble if I'm using a tray. There's no discussion about it. But I use the tray all the time for prep work outside on the grill. We use it to serve barbecue on, which is a piece of wax paper. And again, I take it in when we're watching a movie or something like that. It avoids all problems.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think I would love the trays as well. Especially the charcuterie option. I think that's something my wife and I go to often.
Yeah, this is the 5-inch bowl, and it is also available in a 3-pack. So this sometimes is our most cross-merched piece because this can go into ice cream and dairy, cereal, snack and nuts, deli for charcuterie, hummus, those kinds of dips. It's perfect for babies. I just put in a couple ECRM apps to different retailers that have a calling for new baby items at this time of year. You know, we have blues, pinks, whites, greens, yellows. We have all kinds of earth tones that are popular with young mothers now. But
So you talked a little bit about client testimonials. And I just wanted to offshoot of that. Has anybody ever come to you and talked about co-branding with, salad bowls, or have you looked at that space from a co-branding opportunity, I guess?
Yeah, we had we decorated some bowls for a creamery up in Canada, and it's a family owned business, so they wanted their logo printed on the outside of it. So we've done that. Yeah, we've had a couple grocers have asked us to have a look at pad printing their logo on the front or the bottom of the tray as well.
And we had a seasonal winter soup manufacturer in our region. Some of their people encouraged us to go to, the inline hang tag companies and sell through there, but we're not there yet.
Yeah.
But it's a
Well, we did unique snacks though with the pretzels.
yes. One of our
That was a bundle. That was really nice. Yeah.
and in fact, tomorrow is National Pretzel Day. So
Oh,
unique snacks, and when we get some product out to you, I'll have to try to get some pretzels in the box too. Unique Snacks makes the world's best pretzels. They're out of Pennsylvania. They've been a favorite of mine for years. I knew the owner, so last year at this time, I just sent him a bowl and said, "Here's your new favorite pretzel bowl." But that expanded to their online commerce site. So instead of using wicker, that by the way gets thrown away, it might hang around for a year, but those wicker baskets end up in the trash. So again, there's nothing sustainable about them. They're coming in as imported products, and they had some runaway sales this year in the fourth quarter because of the colored bowls. So if you looked at uniquesnacks.com, you would see them on their web e-commerce site for their sales. It's been their best seller this year.
So as we are wrapping up, is there any kind of closing remarks you guys have to say about Maple Origins, and we'll sign off on the brand?
I guess one of my biggest concerns is that, we have multiple generations that are very concerned about the environment. And yet, it works in stop-starts. And I think that this is a product line that people can really embrace to make an incremental change. Not only can they build a happier household, and create a little bit more entertainment and engagement at mealtime, but take them with you. Put them in your tailgate box, throw them in your car for a picnic. It's no big deal to wipe them off and put them in a bag and take them home. And it doesn't always just have to be for casual occasions. I think the beauty of this line, when you see a woman in a beautiful dress and a blue jean jacket, and you think, what's going on there? Well, it's a high-low concept in fashion. And when I look at different china patterns and different table settings, this beautiful 12-inch bowl can be part of a formal place setting at Christmas time or any other occasion.
Sure.
Yeah, I have to echo that with Therese, because everybody talks about being a disruptor as an entrepreneur. I want to be a disruptor. I want to blow the industry up. I'd like to say that I don't want to blow the industry up, but I want to change it in small way that I can effectively without putting my company at risk. Because I have 40 people who are family to me, who many of them are 15 and 20 and 25 and 30 year folks that I've worked with and grown up with. So my charge is not to blow the company up and take enormous risk with a product line, but it's to incrementally build something that I think is valuable. I'm a surfer, I'm a gardener, and I'm a manufacturing manager. I'm the president of a manufacturing company. And my pursuits and hobbies color who I am as a manufacturer, and what types of things I want to build and the ones I don't want to build. So I look to incrementally change the market space that we're in and not revolutionize it.
Well, that's amazing, Chris. And so lastly, I'm just going to point this one to you, Chris, is what would be one piece of advice you'd give to an overwhelmed new entrepreneur?
Okay. I talk to the young managers that are in training here all the time, and you have to. I'm going to have to use a military analogy here. And what my training was, you have to take care of the nearest bad guy first. You can't worry about the guy that's at the end of the street. You can't worry about next year. You have to execute this week first, because there won't be a month if you fail to execute this week properly. So that's what I would say is you have to execute daily and weekly so that you can build a long-term business. The big things will take care of themselves if you do all the small things right.
That's really well said.
Most
That's awesome.
Yeah, the most important part of this is taking care of the folks, because that's your most valuable thing. You can borrow money anywhere. You can purchase technology and sort out how to use it. But if you don't have the right people that you gel with in a team fashion, you won't be successful as you could be.
That's amazing piece of advice. And so,
Yeah, thank you for that.
yeah, that's a great addition to our podcast. And so, yeah, I just wanted to say thank you to both of you for putting this together for us. And this is an amazing opportunity to get to know you. And we hope that our audience has enjoyed the podcast today as well. And that's a wrap on today's episode with Food Marketing Mindset. I'm Doug Resch.
And I'm Holden Rouse.
And a big thank you to the visionary food marketers who shared their secret sauce with us, Chris Budnick and Therese Waldron.
Remember, the world of food marketing is everywhere. It's powerful and it's effective.
Don't forget to subscribe, leave us a review, and share this podcast with fellow innovators. For more delicious content, follow us on social channels and visit our website. Stay tuned for another serving of Food Marketing Mindset, where your appetite for growth meets the taste of triumph. Stay seasoned, stay inspired, until we meet again on the next episode of Food Marketing Mindset.